With Cities Skylines 2, we want to achieve everything we didn't get to achieve with Cities Skylines 1. So, world domination. Colossal Order was founded back in 2009. Our main goal was to actually one day be able to create a city building game. We started with mass transit simulators because it was more feasible for us. There was no way that with the 5-member team that we had starting up, it was possible to do such a big game as a city builder is. So we started small, grew the company, and now we're 30 people working on hopefully the best city builder in the world. We've been working on Cities Skylines 2 for about 6 years now. Very quickly after Cities Skylines success dawned on us, we realized that it's not something that we can continue forever. There were technical choices made that we wouldn't be able to sustain for in the long run. Well, we managed for 8 years, but we knew that there was a time when we had to make new decisions for the technical side of things.
We have wanted to look over the years that we've developed the first game. It's been 8 years now, so over that time we've been looking what the people want and what's the missing things from the first game that we want to bring.
During the Cities 1 development, we started to notice that we would like to add this and we would want to add this, but from technology point of view, it really wasn't anymore possible to do in the first game.
I think the Cities Skylines 2 is now kind of the culmination of what we want, what is our vision, as well as what are the wants and needs of the community regarding the game.
But there started to be piling up ideas, if we would get to do this again, what ways we would do it better. And that's basically the story of Cities Skylines 2, just do everything a little bit better.
What makes a Colossal Order game a Colossal Order game? I think it has to be what happens under the hood.
We are first and foremost about the gameplay and simulation, and then everything else comes after that.
I would say it has to be the simulation. That's pretty much all that the games are about.
Definitely the deep simulation. I think that it's the main product.
Cities Skylines 2 is a more sophisticated game. It is a more sophisticated simulation, improved visuals, and hopefully an improved gameplay experience for the players.
I am absolutely continuously amazed by the intricacy and complexity that happens behind the curtain. It's just so inspiring to see people who are expert in their field work on something they feel very strongly about.
How do we balance a complex system and keeping it fun for the player? Well, that is a interesting question.
That's a very good question.
It's not always easy, but I think it starts with creating the complex system so that we have the baseline for going as deep as we want. And then we need the different departments, the design and the code, as well as the UI and UX designers to kind of figure out how to put these things together in a way that is intuitive for the player.
In our game, we have very much information, a lot of panels, info views, buttons everywhere. So it's really important to give the users good accessibility to different places and different tools so that they are easy to find.
It's a challenge, of course. There's a lot of testing to do. Our tech lead has been very talented on deciding how do the systems feel to play.
The systems that we have in Cities Skylines, we have the pathfinding for agents. We're talking about citizens, vehicles, resources. We have the economy, which is completely redesigned for this game to be much more in depth. It's very complex, but that's the one thing that we really wanted to nail to be still very approachable for the users. And of course there's the weather system that's new, so that's another thing that also affects the simulation in different ways, like tourism and how crops grow and so on. So there are multiple systems going on there.
There's a lot of rigorous testing involved. We play the game a lot ourselves in order to make sure that it's also fun for us, but it's also fun for the players to play.
Requires a lot of resources because all the simulation systems are so tied together. So changing a balance in one can cause a like snowball effect of many things either starting to go right or going badly wrong. And then also because the play times are so long, like it's not enough to play for an hour, but it requires multiple hours of gameplay. So we put a lot of resources from our design team and then also from QA team to just play write feedback documents like this is now how it feels, and then trying to catch if something starts to go wrong after a change.
The fan community is special for us because they are kind of the foundation for how long our games can last, because like they are not only giving us new ideas on how to improve things, but they also are part of the modding community as well, so they kind of like also create a lot of content for the game in addition to what we create.
I absolutely love the conversation we have with our community. I think it's so important. We definitely want to hear what the players are thinking, what they wish for the game, and then we see if it aligns with our vision and get to do great things.
Modding is one of the biggest things that we always want to bring in our games since the beginning of the company.
The modders are a very passionate group of fans, and they also help us bring the game forward.
I think the best kind of example of how important modding is that when Cities Skylines, the first one, came out, we actually didn't have a feature where you get to switch the direction of the one-way road. And that was one of the mods that were very quick to pop up, and then we realized like, oh, what an oversight from our part, and now it's actually implemented in the game, or it was very quickly implemented to the game.
Of course we have our own vision and plans how we go about, but the community is so sharp and they know what they want to have in the game, what is important, and our job is to listen very closely what they have to say, and then a lot of good ideas we can take from there.
The modding community guides us, they keep us on our toes, they make us make better games.
Doing research on the buildings that we've been working on is like how they function. Are there like some specific elements to these buildings that are like clearly important? Maybe like how do the electrical systems, how do they work like in a rough sense? What kind of specific parts to a certain service building are required? Trying to add all those in so that we get a mostly realistic.
When you start making the graphics, then the meshes, the 3D models and texturing them, then you start to kind of look like what is the piece in the wall and why is it there and why is it in this building and not in that building, and what are the different architectural styles that you don't necessarily even like look in everyday life. And that was kind of like really like widening my horizons in that sense, like what's around me.
Sounds portray information, and that information has to be from the game's perspective very clear. Oh, there's an alarm going on, so an ambulance is going somewhere, so that has to be like very clear. It's something is happening if you want to look at it. But then there are the things that don't necessarily give that much information, but are there to create the mood and the atmosphere, such as when you're hovering a camera over a busy shopping street and you just hear like all the stores. You actually hear what's happening inside the store, so that isn't realistic, but it sort of gives you the feeling that you are inside a shopping street, if you get what I mean.
players get to be very creative.
We provide them the tools so they can use their own freedom or like their creativity in shaping the city in however form they wish it to be. And that's also so great to see like how different cities they can build and what kind of stories they might like give to us through those cities.
There's a lot of player freedom, so you kind of make the story for the game.
Colossal Order game is definitely about player freedom. The games we've made they are a baseline for player creativity. Like, have this as your starting point and make it yours.
Just love to hear from the players the feedback and all the ideas and just like use that into like in my own work too.
We are all, myself included, extremely excited to get Cities Skylines II released. Hopefully we get to work on Cities Skylines II for the next 10 years.
Now the foundation, what we built, is solid for the future. It has been planned to take into account like modding, big community and also future development.
What's most important for us is that we actually get to see the reactions from our community.
The gameplay is awesome. Like I very much enjoy playing Cities Skylines 2, so I'm hoping the new players, like when they get their hands on it, have the similar feeling and just share the feedback with us. I'm prepared to read all of it.
It's been 8 years since we released the game, so it's an extra special moment for us, and to be doing this with the kind of background of being able to create and improve on our first installment of Cities Skylines. So it's a really special moment for all of us.